Alright, so is bee pollen considered a vegetarian type of food? Because it's largely a plant pollen, but the bees do maybe use some of their own resources to put it together. It's kind of a byproduct of making honey, but the bees put it together. They're not exactly animals either. They're just insects. And I'm not sure if vegetarianism is anti-animal or just just anti things that move on their own type of deal. Even though there are plants out there that can kind of move on their own, like certain leaves you touch will close as some kind of form of protection. But um, you know, I can't really consider myself a vegetarian so much because I like some animal products, but uh, most of the week I'm a vegetarian. I'd say because I don't eat a lot of meats and stuff. But this type of thing, except for the fish, but this type of thing with the pollen, I'm a little confused about. It's very sweet, and I don't think any animals produce any kind of sweet tastes themselves. I mean, muscle and fat, that's generally not too sweet. It's probably more succulent. And this bee pollen is more like a candy. So it comes from the plants. And I could harvest it if I had the time, it'd take quite a lot of time, but I could harvest pollen just like the bees. It's just that they're doing it instead. So is vegetarianism to like is that a way to avoid like profiting off the backs of other types of living creatures that do work? Maybe vegetarianism is kind of an anti-animal work type of thing. If an animal has to do, or just living thing, because bees aren't exactly animals. If it's an anti living thing that moves on its own, if that's the type of if that's what a vegetarian movement is, that's vegetarianism. Veganism is supposed to be even um, more extreme. So I would think that it would be a shady area. This would be a shady area with vegetarianism, but veganism, it probably clearly no. If it, I'm sure veganism's more like if it doesn't. Well, yeah, nothing can get involved with any kind of living creature that can move on its own with veganism. All right, I'd say it has to be entirely photosynthesis. But what about fertilizing the plants? What about animals that poop next to it or whatever? They're relying on the animal poop. An animal would have to move over to that plant, or you'd have to pick up poop and put it over that plant so that it can then start using those sources. That's okay, right? You could just consume the plants without thinking about the need for it to rely on animal or insect poop. But bee pollen, this stuff is it's not cheap. Okay, it's kind of a rarity. I don't even know why I bought it. Honey is probably more practical to buy. That's probably not vegetarianism. They talk about animals and stuff on how vegetarianism is anti-animal. They kind of seem to ignore the insects. But yeah, this pollen isn't exactly something that's always harvested from a beehive, because it's mixed in with the dead bees. Because I believe it falls to the bottom of the hive along with some of their feces. The bees don't try to poop much in the hive; they poop outside it. But like the dead bees and the varroa mites and stuff get in there probably.